What's up, traders? It's Jrow from Instock, and today I'm going to be breaking down a trade where I closed 2,500 in profit. I think it was 2,500, but it was over 2,000. So I'm gonna give y'all this trade breakdown that I took last night, London session. I think the trade started at about. Let me check. This trade started at about 2 a.m. Well, actually, I placed my first entry pre-session around like 1 before all the volume got in, and this was my take profit at this level. So that's one benefit of marking up y'all charts pretty much. So this 1066,358 level is a big area of traffic and resistance, support, whatever you want to call it. This area is important. So it's a lot of wicks around this area pretty much. So before this trade setup came, I was already had this line pre-distinguished. So when I drew my auto fib and I calculated the risk for this position, I basically had everything set up already. So I didn't really have to do much but just wait for the pullback to happen. So if you're not familiar with this currency pair, it's basically is a derivative from the US dollar currency index. It pretty much moves the same, but this is the most volatile forex pair I think in the world. I think, but it definitely is for U.S. markets, for U.S. Currency pairs. So I did not take this trade. This was from the news, and everything just spiked. Everything, all the U.S. dollar on every currency pair spiked. So here's an example: spike at the same time frame. USD CAD spike, USD DKK bigger spike. Wow, they wouldn't have gave me a trade last night. So I'm glad I traded USSEK. I don't know where this trade got out at, but we can go back to that later. So yeah, so basically I'm thinking tonight we're gonna do the same thing to the downside. It's probably gonna retest this level, then go up, or retest this level and go straight bearish all the way back to the 200 moving average, which is this light blue line. So we're just gonna wait for a lot of confluence and price action tonight at around 2 in the morning London time, and we're pretty much just gonna yeah, that's pretty much it. So before I took this trade, I was pretty much I already knew this was gonna happen. Pretty much like 90% sure that it was gonna be a pullback. If this much price action bullish came in the market in such a short time period, it was about 11 hours, which is a short time period for this much of a move. That's 2,900 pips, roughly 3,000 pips in the matter of 11 hours. The full move was 3,400, no, 3,046 pips. So roughly it's a 3,000 pip move. So if a 3,000 pip move happened the session before your session, it's pretty much automatically going to continue bullish in the same way until pretty much the price action stopped or the buyers are exhausted, or it's going to retest at a level. So this level is already pre-distinguished. Like I've told you guys, we can just go back to where it came from. This was the high, I guess, around the 7th of February. This was the high of the whole February. Actually, it was the 7th. So that's the trade that I took. Just going back down to this level, pretty much. I was prepared to take this trade all the way back down to at least 50%, so around like 1,500 pips from this level. So I was prepared to take this trade all the way back down to the moving average, but it did not complete that move. This is the hourly time frame. But it didn't complete this move. So as price action and actually at the end of this trade, price action was going crazy bullish, which is this big giant candle and these three candles in consecutive range. You would have pretty much, if you scaled into this trade, you would have pretty much got out at a terrible price. Probably would have been at break even with the spread cost of USDSEK. So as you guys can see, this was the trade, and I'm pretty much just gonna show y'all how it lined up before. So I was waiting on the histogram. I usually start my trades on a 5 minute. So we go to the 5 minute time frame, and I'll show y'all what I was thinking in terms of the price action. Okay. So biggest things I'm looking for, I really do use my indicators a lot just to basically give me a rough rundown. So if the indicator's not aligned, then it's probably not going to be good for you to place a trade because they evaluate the market conditions for me, so I don't have to do so much analysis, you would say, but I probably still would. But this was a pretty easy trade, I would say. So I got in the trade around 1. This is actually too early. I got in the trade around 1 a.m. or like 1:30, 1:45 around that time. And I just seen this rejection. So this was the highest point of the chart. So we're looking at anything that breaks above this high will mean that we're not going to be bearish. All the price action was going bearish. So I was like, okay, I'm going to just wait to get in at a good price. So I kind of got a little FOMO, fear of missing out. So I placed a trade before a session. I could have got in at this wick, but I'm glad I got in when I got in. But this actually scared me right here. It didn't scare me, but it's like, okay, is the trade going to go to the stop loss? Is it going to make new highs? So it did not make new highs. I was in the trade at this point. I was in profit at this point. So I was like, man, okay, we had this little rectangle that I drew here. That's a resistance level. So I'm like, okay, if we break these lows, then I could definitely scale into this trade. So we went all the way down to the low at the end of this box, and we went right back up bullish. And we rejected the 50 SMA. So I said, okay, I'm gonna stay in. I pretty much could have put another entry there, but then I would have been in a lot of more drawdown, too much risk right here, which I did not know at the time. So I just I trusted the trade pretty much, stayed in it. If it would have taken me out at my stop loss, which was right above the high, then it would have. But I just gave myself a lot more breathing room just because USDSEK is such a volatile pair. So I pretty much was asleep around this time, but as soon as I seen that we rejected highs around here, that's when I was like, okay, I'm cool for now. Let me just move this way just so we can see this was what I was talking about. This was the rejection. So if we would have got into a zone at this rejection, okay, this the high, and we would have stayed in this zone pretty much from this red to this yellow, I'd have been like, okay, well, I'm not going to take this trade. I get out at break even. It's not enough value. But as you know, price anchors back to the 200 SMA almost 10 times out of 10 on most trades. So I just stayed in the trade. I had about 3 positions in. I had a 1 lot, then another 1 lot, then I had a 0.25 and a 0.25, and I just took that straight down. Pretty much stayed in it. And if I was awake around this time at these rejections, I would have just protected my position, but I didn't really have any room to protect it. So if price action would have went bearish below this and respected this zone, that would have been perfect for me to protect the position and be like, okay, anything above this amount while I was sleeping. But I let the trade play out, and I had my orders sent out to the Signal group chat already. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna just let this trade play out. So yeah, we went bearish. We hit it. We hit the signal twice actually. Once, well, 1, 2, and then rejection. Came back down, came back up. Big, huge rejection right here. It would have been another entry if I was taking this all the way back down. Like if I was swinging this trade, I would have probably been putting crazy entries. Um, each entry should be at least about 0.5% of your account balance, just so you can make sure you're on the right side of the risk. because you never know what the market is actually going to do. Everything is all about the probabilities of what's going to happen next. So, yeah, I pretty much took this trade down. The KST, I was looking for a crossover or at least the red being above the blue. And when I enlarge this, you should be able to see this is what we were seeing. We were below the baseline, which means you selling anything below this. Anything above it, you're buying pretty much. So there's a lot of traffic, bears, a lot of price action going back and forth, back and forth. The bears and bulls was pretty much fighting, is what this is saying. And this is another example of the same thing. This is a consolidation of this time. And as soon as we got here, algorithm kicked in here. Boom, that's a trade. And it did it again here. I think it was at this candle. And as soon as this cross, that's basically mean price action is bullish or bearish. So this should give you a visual representation of it right here. So this bullish price action is resembled right here in this price action. This bearish price action right here is resembled right here. Same thing. And then the KST is basically the same thing, but just on a longer scale. So this is more like a 200 moving average, which is just helping you identify the trend. And as you can see, as this trade played out, everything was pretty much smooth, going down to the downside. So you had this one wick right here, rejection of the 10 SMA and 50 SMA, and then everything just kept going down to my take profit. And it's been bullish since it rejected this zone. So you could put a little rectangle here just to give you a good visual of what happened. And yeah. So pretty much being patient. We're waiting for another sell signal. Right now the KST is in a cross almost. So if these lines cross and the blue goes above the red, it's most likely going to be back to this baseline and go back bearish, or respects this baseline and goes bullish all the way up to here. Now, if we get in the if we get buys above this zone, you could pretty much trade this depending on the price action. So you see that little line? Anything above this zone will be bullish momentum. This will represent bullish momentum. And the ATR around the time that I placed this trade, it should definitely resemble this. The pips that I took. I think it was around 1,000 pips. With multiple positions, it was definitely over 1,000 pips. So average true range was saying on the daily time frame, right now we at 7,500. So you would basically take your calculator and just go, what's 1/5 of 7,000? And that math should at least give you a ballpark range of how many pips you should be looking at catching. So that's pretty much the trade, guys. This trade was definitely sent out to the Signal group chat. And if you do want to join the Signal group chat, I basically trade that every night. Or if I'm not trading, the Instock trader will be trading, sending out the signals that are approved by Instock itself, the company. And if you want to reach out to me, reach out to Instock, want to learn about trading, you want to further your trading education, you can DM me on Instagram at JROWBEE, JROWBEE, or you can definitely reach out to the Signal group chat from my day trading Signal group chat in the bio of Instock, INSTOCK 247365 on Instagram. Good luck to you guys the rest of the week. We do have some news coming. The unemployment rate says it's supposed to stay the same. Non-farm payrolls, basically, I think it's the payroll of Fortune 500 companies in the United States, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. And the forecast is lower than expected. So basically, people ain't getting that many jobs, or people ain't getting paid. I know what a payroll is, so I just don't know what non-farm. So non-farm payrolls is probably meaning like U.S. market. U.S. market. I'll just look it up. But if you guys do want to check this news update as well, please look it up. Please educate yourself and don't be an idiot. Be smart. And that's my last message for you guys. Today is Wednesday, March 8th, 2023, and I'm going with the video. Enjoy.